in my opinion and experience, when the segments are the wrong starting point.
Okay.
To start with a segment means you've already defined that you're going to live within this box. And then everything else you do is taking that box into account. It's like, okay, now I need to write a campaign. What campaign can I make that fits within these walls? And then what message can I write that fits that campaign, which means that also has to fit within these walls, which means you're blinding yourself to everything outside the box. You're only living within the box. A different way of approaching that is to start with the messages. Instead of saying, how can I magically figure out what combination of demographic characteristics result in people who like this particular product at this time of day for this reason? Write a message for people who like that particular product at that time of day for that particular reason. You write the message to embody your persona that you're going for, the profile of that user. And if you do that for all of those different combinations, for each of your products, for each of the times of day and days of week, for each of the reasons they might do it, then by sending out those messages to your users, I mean, even start with just randomly sending them out. You can then look at who responds to what, and you can start developing dynamic segments, if we want to call them that, but preference profiles for each user based on what they've responded to. So if you send a particular a message about a particular product at a particular day of the week and emphasizing a particular value proposition, and you have certain users who consistently click on that, who consistently buy something after that, that's a really strong signal that those users like that. And you can use that information then to make your next decision. So instead of going through and running a campaign and getting at the end, you have some kind of aggregate success rate, and then you say, okay, what do we do next? When you go through and match up messages and you have that diversity of messages and you match it up to your users, you actually have next steps built in. You say, these users responded to this, we should give them something similar next time. You can even, I mean, Aampe does this. I always get a little bit skeptical when people talk about AI, like you can sprinkle some machine learning on stuff and make it magic. Yeah. But it does work in this particular case. Yeah, like we've invested quite a bit into algorithms that will say, okay, well, these people didn't respond, but let's go back to what people often put into segments, like all these behavioral characteristics and demographics. Instead of using it to make a segment, use it to predict which other users they're similar to. So you find this user didn't respond to any what we sent them, but you know what? When we look at their behaviors, they're really similar, most similar to these users who responded really well to product C on Wednesdays in the morning. So next time, how about we send them product C at Wednesdays in the morning and see how they respond? So you can actually generalize to your entire user base based on the people who did respond. And over time, what you end up doing is matching people more and more to the characteristics of the messages that they like. And if your messages from the very beginning were structured according to your business structure, your business goals, so the product lines you have, the reasons you want people to buy, things like that, by optimizing your messaging, you actually end up developing a mapping of your users to the part of the business that intrigues them and that engages them.